This wasn't necessarily a business born out of necessity. It was a business that was brought out of opportunity, and it was a business that was started by a guy in Melbourne. Then we had the recession, and that was about 1992, and at that point Roofsseal took over the company that I worked for. The recession that we had to have continued, and I made the offer to take over a division of the company that was unprofitable, and then I started to own divisions of that company progressively in 93 through 95, and eventually took over Roofsseal in Melbourne.
Started my career was with SA government. I wanted a sea change, so I moved overseas for a couple of years and came back. Didn't know what I wanted to do, so Dad said, well, come work for me for a short term until you work out what you really want to do.
He came back from overseas and told me he wouldn't mind getting his hands dirty, so we put him into the paint factory, because if he was going to have a future with the company, he needed to know right from scratch.
Then I actually started really at the grassroots of the business. I started off as a yard sweeper, tidying the offices around, doing handyman stuff. And then I went into production of our coating system. And then I moved into more of a trade division, managing the trades. And then I moved into the marketing manager position. That was kind of an evolution to get to know all of the business and how all the divisions work. I then know how the business operates and what each division needs to do to be successful.
So he's been successful in every step that he's done. Then it came time for him to step up and take over the Adelaide operation.
A big win for me was when I took over as estate manager and director from my father. I was quite scared of when I took on that role, but to be able to take it over and grow it and develop it from where it was, I'm quite proud of that personally. I guess communicating that fear with my team members and building a really good base around myself of people who I could trust and work with. Changing, and how do we change and how do we grow and how do we develop together. So it's about communicating that with staff and family and friends who, support myself to get that result. Another milestone we had was that we were awarded Australia's Best Roof Restoration Company in 2017.
As we've been successful in handing across the major operations to James, which are the Melbourne and Adelaide operations, it's been my drive that we repair and expand the franchise network that we have.
So our core business obviously is roof restoration, but we do also do re-roofing and plumbing, so guttering and downpipes. We do a gutter guard protection system. We also do roller shutter for external windows and outdoor blinds. They just go hand in hand with obviously the home. Our main point of difference is that we manufacture our own coatings, which is called Elemex. We only supply to ourselves. It's not a retail product, so we only supply and manufacture for ourselves.
We retain for 7 years a liquid sample of every batch that we produce, and that is in case there be any defect with the roof. We can actually trace to that batch, we can trace from the roof to the batch, we can give that liquid sample to our paint chemist, and he can analyse as to whether there's any defect with that coating. So that we've basically over the years perfected our coatings. We know exactly what goes into the coatings, and there are no shortcuts. We really do try to have it be a happy experience for the client. To be sure of the service that the client's going to receive, we have what we call bonded tradesmen. These are tradesmen that have contributed their own capital to basically say that they're going to do an excellent job and they're going to abide by the standards that Roofsseal dictate. And it came about because of the high transient type of people that were attracted to the roof restoration industry, where they were considerably fly-by-night, and some of those people are still around. And this brought, in our organisation, ethics and credibility to the trade side, so that they will do exactly what they're supposed to on the roof. They won't cut corners, and they'll do an exceptional job. Once the job is completed, we inspect every roof.
We have a full-time employee who is a licensed building inspector to ensure that the service and the product that we're delivering by our tradesmen is up to our company standard and our, my personal standard.
Oh, and your roof is getting lost.
The seal was in a very primitive form when I took over the Melbourne operation. We came across a great marketing guy called Dave Cook and produced the seal as it is today. He came up with it. The jingle that we have that's so famous, and I've even had airline hostesses sing it on the flight to me.
7-0. Roof!
This is Industry Leaders. Still ahead, Roof Seal's David and James Tye and Simon Charlton share how one of Australia's best roof restoration companies with that famous jingle survived the pandemic and came out the other side.